Welcome back to Marketo, Marketing for the Engagement Economy. In this section, we're going to talk about how you can engage your audience using various different methods in Marketo. First, we're going to talk about sending a simple batch email just by knowing who, what, and when. Then we'll talk about setting up a triggered campaign that can execute in real time based on a person's behavior. Then we'll talk about sophisticated cross-channel nurturing that will allow you to change the conversation as you listen to what your customer or your audience is responding to and see what they might be interested in. Then we'll talk about events and how you can download these even from the program library and even clone them to have much more efficiency in your marketing efforts. So let's get started. First, we're going to look at an email batch send, and you can set this up simply by knowing who, what, and when. The who would be your audience. Let's look at how we can select that audience based on their behaviors. So here we're looking at someone who visited a web page and clicked a link on it. There are lots of behaviors over here on the right-hand side that you can choose to include to determine who your audience for this email send is going to be. The next thing we want to do is what do we want to send them? So let's determine our email. We've selected one here. We can go in and create a dynamic email using the modular templates that are part of Marketo. So here I can look down and scroll down and see all of the different elements that I could choose to include as part of this email. So many of our customers can choose one or two emails and then drag and drop what content they want in there according to how they've set their brand up and what message they want to deliver. Now we can look at some dynamic content. This allows the marketer to actually define one email, but have it applicable and relevant to multiple audiences. So here we're changing the picture and the visual. You can also see that we're changing the subject line as well, so our subject is relevant to our audience. We can make these changes very simply in Marketo and save the marketer an enormous amount of time, which could translate into more marketing activities. I've also got dynamic content in the form of tokens or generic values that we can set up in the from address or the reply to or anywhere in the email. The template picker in Marketo will allow the marketer to scroll down and see several examples of responsive templates that are modular in design and can really help the marketer get started quickly. Next, we might want to set up an A/B test so we can determine maybe the best subject line or even the best email. So here I've got several different options to me as well as the subject line and email. I can determine what my A test, my B, I can even do multivariate testing by adding new lines. I can then use the slider down here to determine the size of my test audience and come to step 2 where I can declare what the winner criteria can be, even using custom conversions. As I work through this simple to use wizard step by step, I can set my send test and my winner send. And then I can review everything that I have set up, even noting that Marketo has safety nets built in that will tell you if you've got something missing or something that's required for this particular program. So I can come in here and fix this and not have an issue when my email send is ready to go out. So now I can click finish and I'm all set. I've just simply set up who, what, and when. All that's left to do is approve the program. Now let's take a look at our email statistics and see what's working well. Email Insights instantly grabs your eye and has it drawn to these red boxes, which tells you there's some things that need your attention. The green box here in our click-through rate looks pretty good. I can also see the previous period or not and choose some of the drop downs to change from engagement metrics to delivery metrics and back and forth. I can look at different audience slices, so you can really slice and dice this email information without needing a business intelligence degree or a data scientist. I can even change the time period that I'm looking at from 7 days to an entire month if I'd like. Now let's switch from analytics to sends, and I can immediately see here by the red that I've got a higher bounce rate in this email. As I scroll down through here, I can see some dark green, which is telling me my click-through rate was really good on this email. So I might want to repurpose that subject line or that subject matter. So now let's look at how we can send a triggered campaign based on their behavior. We have a number of triggers and filters over here on the right-hand side, and you can see all of the different categories that you can use to choose who that audience is going to be based on an action they've taken. So here I could look at somebody who filled out a form, and I've got several things in my drop-down I can select, or I can just say any form that they fill out. Now, what do I want to do in my flow steps? I'm going to send them an email, so I can choose which email I want to send them. Then I might want to take another action, and there's lots of different options that you can choose on the right-hand side here. So maybe I want to simply do a wait and wait a few days and see if they've opened that email, and if they haven't, maybe then I want to do a push notification and use our mobile engagement platform. Or I may want to come in here and add them to an engagement program, and we're going to look at that next. But there may be some more actions that I want to take. Maybe I want to change a custom data value that I have in the Marketo database. The flow steps allow you to do just that, so you can get as granular as you need to be based on the action that that person has taken, and immediately make some changes and make some adjustments and send them some content. So once I've got that set up, let's take a look at the engagement stream that we added them to. So this is where the marketer can set up several different streams here, and I can even set up different cadences. So on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, I can have regular deliveries go out to people that are in different stages of engagement with me. So you can see here that I've got not only emails, but I've got several different types of campaigns, and I can even edit the availability and set up when that particular event might be applicable to be delivered as part of the engagement we're doing with our prospects out here. So you can set that up, and many times, I want to set up these transition rules that are going to automate when I'm going to change that conversation. So I've grabbed their attention and I'm going to pull them over into a different stream. Now, what if I want to add new content? This is very easy to do in Marketo's engagement streams. I simply drag it over, pull it to the top so I can prioritize it, and then activate it. So now on Tuesday, everyone in this engagement stream is going to receive our priority message, regardless of what step they're in. The following week, it will pick right back up where it left off. The engagement stream dashboard allows you to see several different metrics on how your engagement stream is performing, including the highest engagement content as well as the lowest. So at Marketo, we'll repurpose high engaging content in a number of different ways. Now let's take a look at our events. So if you look at an event, you can see that there's a lot of different assets that you're going to have. You're going to have invitations, reminders, follow-ups, recordings, lots of different types of content that you deliver as part of that event. Now, Marketo gives you a unique way to set up generic tokens. We looked at these in the initial email. So there may be 3 or 4 things that I might be changing from one event to the next. Well, Marketo wants to make this incredibly easy for the marketer. So you can simply right-click on that event and come down here and clone it. This allows you to not only save a document as another name like we all do in Word, but it actually allows you to take every one of those documents and create a copy of them. Then we'll come in here and we'll go simply to those tokens and change the few things we need to change, and we're all done. Now we'll hit the clone, and Marketo will start cloning every single one of those assets that you see in this program. Cloning is something that you can do on any of the programs that you'll see in Marketo, and it's really a time saver that our customers tell us is really saving them not only hours, but in some cases days. So they can then use that time to create more marketing activities out there for a better ROI. So once we've got all of these assets cloned, we can simply go up here and change those few values that we're going to change from event to event. So it may be the subject line, it may be the date of the event, it may be some speaker name, whatever you need to change. Marketo allows you to do that with ease. So we've shown you several different ways that you can engage with your audience so that you can build meaningful and lasting relationships that are going to help you further your marketing efforts and achieve your marketing goals.